goodness sakes, I haven't heard from you for so long.
I know, it's so good to hear your voice. How are you?
I'm doing okay, thank you, honey. I really am. How about you? Did you get your shower done?
I did. I got my shower done. Now I'm in like fresh clothes and I feel so much better.
That's great. Do you have plans later on today?
Yeah, I do. Let's see, what is today? Today's Saturday. I'm gonna go to the mall with one of my friends, and then maybe if I'm feeling up to it, one of my friends is hosting like a Halloween party, so I may end up going to that.
How fun. Do you have to go in costume or anything?
Yes, costumes are definitely mandatory.
Were they? Really? I didn't know they did things like that anymore.
Yeah, a lot of my friends have been shaming everyone who does not show up in a costume, and honestly, I get it. It makes it more fun if everybody's in a costume.
Of course. Do you try to disguise yourself so they don't know who you are, or does it matter?
I've never been that good at costumes, so typically I don't try to go in with any agenda other than just like the easiest, most accessible costume. But this year, someone from the club had bought me like a Princess Leia costume, so now that'll be my go-to.
Oh, that'll be perfect for you.
I know, right?
Did you have to rent it, or what do you do, or did you just make it up?
Well, luckily it was a gift from somebody, so someone bought the costume for me off at like Amazon.
Oh, how nice.
Yeah.
My goodness sakes. Who's your benefactor?
Oh, you know how like at the club there are regulars that come in there for drinks and food and whatever. So it was someone like that, like a regular at the club. His name is John. He's a lawyer. He's very nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's
I thought you weren't at the club anymore.
Yeah, I wasn't. He bought it for me like in September, thinking I would wear it for like Halloween. But I don't work at the club anymore. I actually just accepted a job offer this week.
I want to hear all about what you've been doing because I'm way behind. Okay.
Okay.
You have to go first.
Sounds good. Yeah, so let's see. I feel like it's been, actually tomorrow it'll be a whole month since I left the club, and I feel like it's just flown by. I redid my resume probably about like at least 5 times, if not more. But luckily my friends were really great at helping me understand like what I needed to put on my resume, how to word things, quantifying instead of just like explaining.
Listing things.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. And so there's this like high-end clothing brand called Aritzia, and it's in one of the malls here. I ended up applying with them for a sales position. I interviewed for them, and this week we were negotiating because I did not want to accept the job offer without having assurance that I could go home to Missouri for Thanksgiving. And so on Friday we finished the negotiations and I sent in the paperwork. So I start on November 11th.
You do. Well, congratulations. Do you think you're going to like it? I mean, you do well dealing with the public, I know. So, and you're familiar with the products and everything, right?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I love Aritzia. I love the clothing brand. I have several of their pieces and they're just really, really quality. So I'm feeling pretty confident about it. It's a sales job, but it's also like I'm just an associate at a retail store, so it feels very comfortable since it's not a whole lot of pressure of like going into like a super corporate world of like trying to sell software technology or something like.
Yeah. And making a niche for yourself to climb the ladder or anything like that.
Yeah,
I see.
So this is pretty comfortable.
Yeah, that is really great. I was going to ask you, what are your hours like? I mean, will they suit you?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't have a set schedule. I'm scheduled to work 40 hours a week, but the thing about the sales position is the hours depend on how well you meet the sales targets, so it will be fluctuating is what I'm expecting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds like it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a pro and a con. Like, it's cool that, like, I'll be able to, like, make commission and hit targets, which is something that I want, but it's also, like, not that fun to not have a set schedule and kind of have to take it week by week since I don't really know when I'm going to be working, but I trust it'll all work out.
Tell me, well, is this store, or is, what retail store is it similar to that I would be familiar with? To compare it.
Yeah, like Banana Republic or
Okay.
yeah,
Okay. Gotcha.
like J. Crew or something.
So it would be a younger set, more or less, of clientele rather than seniors or anything like that. Mm-hmm. I mean, this isn't a high-end place or anything.
Yeah,
what is it?
It's like not at like a luxury level, but it's a step above like Macy's or most big brands. Does that make sense? It's
okay.
more of like a boutique brand.
Yeah, that makes more sense to me. Okay, I see. All right, thank you. I wasn't too sure what kind of place. So their wages might be, pretty worth it then, huh?
Yeah. They're offering me $22 an hour, plus like option for increase like with sales targets being met. So it's an adjustment, I'm not gonna lie. Like, this is the most I've ever been paid by like an hourly position at a company, but I mean, if I end up going into this for like a long period of time, I am looking at like quite a significant like decrease in my income, so that's kind of something I've been adjusting to. But I think that no matter what, like, it's gonna work out. I talked to the recruiter who interviewed me, and then also the regional manager of this store and several other stores in her territory, and we spoke about how it's definitely accessible to move up in the ranks and like accessible for there to be increases in status and position and in income. Yeah.
That's always nice to know in advance,
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Definitely.
Well, see, November 11th, that'll be here before you know it, huh?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
So, geez, I'm so behind. So the last time you shared anything that we didn't have a chance to talk, let's see, you had made some real decisions because Keisha was going to be moving out, in March or April. And what are your plans going to be? I mean, are you decided to move from there, or do you know yet? Are you moving out of Georgia, or what are you going to do?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's definitely something that has been weighing on me quite heavily, and I just have to accept that right now I don't have all the tools and the information I need to make that decision. I'm definitely keeping all of my options open and evaluating everything as they come, but if it's too far out for me to like really decide what's gonna happen. It's been a really, really stressful week, and Keisha and I's like friendship has kind of deteriorated, so
I'm sorry to hear that. What happened?
We just are not on the same page in the friendship.
Well, she's got a guy, and it's different. Her life is changing, right?
Yeah, she's got a guy, she's got, a new job that's changing her lifestyle and her schedule, and, like, I have a lot of things going on as well, and I feel like I've been putting a lot of effort into, like, the friendship, and when I try to communicate when my needs are not being met, she's not, open to that. And like, we've had some miscommunications, And instead of us finding common ground of like why this happened, I end up taking like all of the blame. And there have been like 3 situations now where we've had a miscommunication, and the first 2 times, like, I took the blame because, you know, like, I love Keisha, I respect her, I don't want to cause her any pain or any harm, and I recognize that, like, even though it wasn't intentional, like, me being in my emotions and reaching out to her was not helpful for her. And this last time, I feel like I've done everything I can to not be a burden to her, to not take so much of her energy. I feel like I've made myself quite small, to continue on in the friendship, and it became very evident to me on Tuesday when she didn't prioritize our like friendship date that we had set, that like I'm just not a priority to her, and that was the day I needed support, and she didn't show up for me, and then blamed it on me. So yeah, we're not like in a good place right now.
Oh, it sounds like you're not. Did she just not even acknowledge that she wasn't going to meet you, or did it just happen? I mean, she deliberately ignored it.
So it's to me it feels quite complicated to kind of like break down, especially since I'm not having my side like validated at all. So I'll just tell you kind of like what happened. Monday, the day before, I told her that I wanted to make her dinner tomorrow, and we had set Tuesdays as like our day for friendship, that like we were gonna have a friendship date. And also on Monday, we had talked about going to a friend's Pilates class. And so that was it. Like, nothing more of those plans had materialized. So in the morning, I asked her, like, what time the Pilates class was, where it was at, like, all the details for that, etc. She let me know. It's like, okay, cool, I'll be ready by, like, 8 o'clock. And I had it on my calendar that I was going to make her dinner. To me, dinner is, like, just, like, whenever she gets home. The past couple times, we haven't really, like, set a time for dinner. And Tuesday, like, I was having just a really hard day, like, emotionally, like, managing my emotions, and I was trying to get a lot done. And so I was, like, in the kitchen, I was cooking. I let her know that, like, I had left the garage door, or, well, like, the garage open for her. Like, I typically have the garage, but I moved my car so that she could have it, because I know she has an hour-long drive home stuck in, like, rush hour traffic. Like, that's terrible. The last thing you want to do is search for a parking spot. And she says, thank you. And then, like, I finished the soup, and I'm kind of, like, waiting for her to get home. And we have our location shared with each other. So, like, I just checked to see, like, you know, how far away she was. And she was somewhere else that, like, was in a completely different neighborhood that takes longer to get to, that's, like, past our place. And then, like, it was 6:20, and I let her know that, like, I was gonna get started on the risotto, which is what I was gonna make her. And in hindsight, I recognized that, like, I could have asked, you know, when she would be home, or I could have set a time. But when she got home, I was upset, but I was trying really hard not to, like, make it a thing. So I told her that, like, I didn't end up making the risotto because I didn't know what time she would be home. And she was like, well, you could have texted me. And I was like, I did text you. Like, I had been texting you all day. And it just kind of deteriorated from there. And she's like, she got frustrated with me that, like, I didn't set the expectation of when she would be home. But she went to her coworker's house before coming home. And to me, that's a change of plans. Like, I thought it was going to be our day for us to spend the evening together. And it kind of seems like she forgot about dinner, which is like fine, but just say you forgot. So, yeah, that just didn't go very well.
Sure didn't. My gosh.
Yeah.
She doesn't seem to be regretful about it, or she hasn't tried to make amends since then or anything?
So, let's see. Well, that night she came at me with some aggression in her responses, and that was really triggering for me. So, like, I shut down, like, I had a panic attack. She, like, went upstairs and then, like, left to go to her boyfriend, or, well, go to the Pilates class and then spent the night at her boyfriend's. And we didn't talk or see each other all day on Wednesday. And then on Thursday, she asked if we could talk around, like, 5:36. And I said sure. And I told her how I felt and why I felt the way I felt. And she says that it's unfair to her for me to be upset that she wasn't home when I didn't set the expectation for her to be home at a certain time. And I think she's just kind of like missing the point of, like, I'm not upset about what time she got home. I'm upset that, like, she didn't communicate with me. Like, she didn't think, oh, hey, like, I don't know what time dinner is, maybe I should ask, or just be like, I forgot.
Yeah, I can understand how you felt.
Yeah.
That's too bad. It really is. Well,
yeah.
It sounds like a precursor to what's going to be happening. You know, she might move on sooner than you expect her to, or something.
Yeah.
You think?
No, I don't know. I think I'm just gonna take it, like, day by day, and, like, that's fine. She says that she doesn't have the emotional capacity to be my friend or deal with my emotional instability. So I don't really have any interest in, like, rekindling like this right now. Like, I'm always going to be open and kind and forgiving when the other person is willing to, like, take responsibility and also acknowledge how they contributed to the problem. But the fact that she wasn't taking responsibility for how she contributed to the problem then invalidated my feelings by blaming me for being the problem. And then on top of that, to, like, add insult to injury and, like, call me emotionally unstable when she has absolutely no idea the kind of stress I'm under right now is just really indicative of, like, her capacity to be kind and compassionate and considerate and understanding. So I'm happy to just do what I need to do, focus on me, and one step at a time.
That's all you can do, honey. That's all you can do right now. It'll cool off, you know, and it'll either go one way or the other.
Yeah.
And, you know, she has other folks to rely on, and you don't. So, you just have to muddle through it yourself, you know.
Yeah.
It isn't easy. I understand that.
Yeah, it's definitely not easy, but, like, luckily I feel like even though my people aren't around me physically, like, I'm receiving so much love and support from everyone I need to be right now. Like, you know, my mom has really been there for me. My brother's been there for me. He's gonna be here a week from today. He's visiting a week from today. And, like, my friends in Missouri are showing me a lot of love and support. And then obviously, like, being able to talk to you and, like, spend time with you on the phone is a huge support. I also scheduled, like, an appointment with my therapist. So I've got my support around me, even though it looks different.
What about all the folks that, when you send me pictures of you know, your birthday party and Keisha's birthday party, are those good friends, or are they just acquaintances mostly? or are they Keisha's friends, or what? I mean, how close are you to any of those people?
Yeah, most of, yeah, that's hard. I would say I've got maybe like 3 to 4 close friends to acquaintances that are just solely mine. And then most of the people that you see me and Keisha with are like a blend of friend groups, and a majority of them are usually like people I've met through her. Yeah, so like I'm giving it space, like not just for her, but also for me. Like I don't deserve to be hurt in the ways I've been hurt in this friendship, and obviously like trying to put more effort in is not doing anything to solve the problem. So I told her that like she can have her friends, and I'm just gonna take a step back from it all. So
I think that's a good move for now. Let it cool down.
Yeah.
And oh my goodness. So you're planning to go. So Corey's coming here or there, I should say. And just to get away from where he is, or just to come see you, or what's anything special? I mean, it's before Thanksgiving, obviously.
Yeah, well, I've been dying for him to come visit for like ever since I moved here, and this is like his first real visit where he's gonna be here for 4 days, and we're gonna be spending time together. So I'm really, really excited about that. Like, it's definitely stressful to like host him when my space doesn't feel like I'm on the best terms right now in my living space, but I think that having him here during this time is exactly the support I need, and I'm very excited to like go do some touristy things. I think we're gonna go to like the art museum and the aquarium and just hang out and enjoy time with each other.
And it'll be okay if he stays there as far as Keisha's concerned?
Yeah, I mean, I texted her this morning and I let her know. I was like, hey, like, next Saturday my brother's gonna be here. These are the dates that he's gonna be here, and all she said was cool.
Okay, well that's good.
Yeah.
And then you're planning to go to Springfield and Thanksgiving again. Huh?
Yeah.
You're gonna drive again?
Yeah, I'm gonna drive. My mom's side of the family is having Thanksgiving November 23rd. It's like on a Saturday, the Saturday before Thanksgiving. So I'll be in Missouri from November 20th to November 24th, and I'm really, really looking forward to that. I've been super, super homesick ever since I left Missouri last time, so I'm really excited to like see my family and be there.
Tell me, have you made some decisions? Are you considering moving back here?
It's definitely an option, but I don't think it's something I'm ready to do yet. I think
you want to give this job a chance first.
Yeah.
But also, I mean, if your living arrangements, it sounds like they're going to have to change, because you can't afford that place by yourself, can you?
No.
Who's this person that you were talking about that's paying for some of the big bills that you have?
Yeah.
If you don't mind my asking.
Yeah, of course. So his name is Zach. He is 30. He's a software engineer. He works for this company that makes casino games. So he does the programming for that. He's a really, really nice person. He's so kind and so loving and so supportive. He is a bit inexperienced in relationships, and so like I met him at the club, and he's just like a very kind and genuine person, and obviously I connect with that, and so we have kind of like an unconventional relationship, and so yeah, I have built that relationship with him for almost 2 years now, and before I left the club, like I had been having conversations with him about how I want to leave the club and what that can mean for our relationship when that happens. We've been having those conversations for probably about a year before I left the club, and I told him that, like, when that time comes, I would really appreciate financial support, because his big thing is like, he just wants to show me love however he can, and I'm the kind of person who, like, I need to deal with my emotions alone most of the time. And if I, like, am having my emotions, I'm very slow to, like, open up to other people about those, like, in the moment. And so I told him that emotional support and financial support are, like, what I need the most, but mostly financial. So he gives me $2,000 a month to help me pay for my rent and my car insurance, which is just, like, so helpful. It's so kind and so generous, and I'm extremely grateful.
I guess so.
Yeah.
With no strings attached or anything? I mean,
yeah. Yeah, no strings attached.
Like no interest payments or repayment things or anything like that? I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Is he unattached otherwise? I mean, is he just single with no responsibilities other than his job?
Yeah, pretty much. He's single. He's from Pennsylvania. His parents live in Pennsylvania. He's an only child. He has a cat named Athena, and
I like that name.
Yeah, it's cute. She's such a cutie. I'll send you a picture of her. Yeah, and so he lives alone, and he's very introverted. He's kind of similar to Dad in a lot of ways, but he's also, like, just so kind and so generous. And so yeah, no strings attached, just spending time together is his only request, is that we just spend time together.
This is kind of surprising to me, because usually in the past you've told me that any of the men that you met at the club, you tried to keep them separate from any other part of your life, because usually the job that you had didn't always sit well with any relationship that you tried to have, and and so was he a regular customer there or something like that, and that's how you got to know him?
Yeah, he was a regular there, like, but he's very loyal. So the way I met him is, like, yeah, one day he was just, like, sitting at a table, and I introduced myself to him, and he actually politely declined my company because he was waiting for someone else. But then him and that girl, like, discontinued their relationship. She, like, left the club, and he came back, and he wanted to see me, and it's literally, like, just been him and I ever since. Like, he would only come into the club to see me, and it was usually on Tuesdays, like every other Tuesdays, and we'd do 90 minutes together and just sit and talk in a VIP room, and, like, we made it really fun. Like, we brought each other gifts, we wrote each other, like, letters, we celebrated, like, birthdays and holidays, and so, like, it's very unconventional, but it really works for, like, where we're at in our lives.
What are his thoughts about where you are as far as your living situation and where you might have to go and that kind of thing? Has he offered to help in that respect, or are you on your own to find a place or something?
That's a good question. So, actually, like, then on Tuesday, when I was really upset, like, when I was having a panic attack, he was the person I called to come comfort me and calm me down, and he was really helpful in that. He does a really good job of, like, listening and empathizing and validating me. So when it comes to my living situation, he's a sounding board. Like, he's gonna, like, listen to me, but he trusts me to figure it out and make my own decisions, and I know that any type of way I ask for help, he'll do his best to show up for me with that. But I don't think that he'll be, like,
unique. I'll tell you, you don't find men like that around very often.
I know. Yeah, I feel really
you're probably his lifeline too, in a way.
Yeah.
Because sounds like he doesn't have anybody else, and here, you're there to offer him pretty much the same, support, and when he needs it, if he does, or just someone to be a companion, So,
yeah, exactly. It's definitely like mutually beneficial.
He's not ever been in any of the pictures you've sent me, has he?
No, but I can send you a picture of him if you want.
Oh, that's okay. I mean, I don't want to be that nosy. I was just curious. You know, I didn't know what the situation was, or where he was, or or whether you found a sugar daddy, or you know what it is. Because it's been like a month since we really talked in depth, and I just was wanted to know just where you'd be and what you said you'd made some decisions. I think when you drove back from Springfield after your birthday, belated birthday thing, when you were there. I think that's where it was. And you said you had a lot of time to think, and driving that distance is definitely a good time to think things over and think things through and figure out what your options are and all that kind of thing. So I hadn't heard what that was, and I've been curious ever since. So.
Yeah. Those. I think what I was talking about then was just really thinking about like what I want out of life and what makes me happy on like a day-to-day basis. And something I've really been struggling with since I moved back to the city is just the chaos of the city. I feel like it's really disrupting to my peace and my ability to like emotionally regulate. So I've definitely made the decision that like I don't want to be in the city anymore. Like as soon as I can move away from the city, I will. And I think that was like my biggest.
I was thinking that. I think a different city or a smaller town or downsizing or something would be a better environment for you at this point. Because you really, really have not zeroed in on what you want to do, for instance, for the next 5 years until you're 30. And you need to get there. You need to settle in on something so that you have a realistic, attainable goal, in your life, and it's going to satisfy you, and it's going to fulfill your needs, and then stick with it. I don't mean to criticize or anything, but you put a lot of time and effort into the real estate thing, and that's a terribly difficult market to make inroads in for a new person. And so whether retail work is, you'll find out in no time whether that suits you or not, and whether it has a future. This one sounds like there's some possibilities, but maybe the grind won't suit you, or maybe it'll just be your niche. I mean, you won't know till you try it. So, I'm glad you're trying something, and at least away from the club. I'm very relieved that you're away from there. That's bothered me for a long time, as you know. But you need to really focus, on the next 5 years and make some plans and find out what it is that's going to lead you to where you want to be. And I think out of Atlanta is probably a good start. A smaller town really has, Springfield's small, relatively speaking. And it's just like where I grew up in California, in Woodland, with your grandpa. It was a nice sized town. It was only 15,000 people when we first moved there. Of course, now it's 50, but it was really nice, and it was a nice, comfortable place to raise children and things and everything. So I like the small town atmosphere. I mean, I was from Portland, and that was way too big for me. I really never did like that, and I was glad to get away from there. And even when I settled in Sacramento, I never did want to be in Sacramento either, but I had to be. But the way things turned out. But of course, I was a lot older than you are now. But I think if you can just kind of, if need be, make a list of what you want, what you don't want, start crossing things off or adding to. I know you've thought about a lot of possibilities, and you've tried a lot of different things, and you're good at a lot of different things. Um, but once you decide, you got to stick with it, you know, and make something happen. And now that you've got Zach around, I know it's kind of reluctant probably to leave with him around, but because he's ensconced in Atlanta, right?
Yeah, he's just like outside in the suburbs. But yeah, I'm grateful for him, but I know that like I'll be fine too without him. Like everything will work out, and I really appreciate you encouraging me to really narrow down my focus and be serious about what I want, and also stay committed to it. I really appreciate having that kind of accountability. And I agree, these things are what has been on my mind, especially like this past month as I've been making this change from, dancing has been my career for the past 4 years to now understanding like, okay, I'm starting at a different level of career, but still at the beginning in a way. It's like beginning 2.0. So I've been thinking, a lot about like where I see myself going in 5 years, and I think what I'm best at is just bringing people together and being a leader and being a person in the community. And so I have been doing a lot of research on things like real estate development, real estate investing. I'm not done with real estate at all. I just couldn't prioritize being a realtor in these past couple months because like, oh my gosh, that's a whole different grind, and I knew that I couldn't dance and be a realtor at the same time. It just wasn't possible. And so now that I have like kind of like a stable, kind of boring, like just mall job, like it feels like it's going to be a lot less taxing than dancing is. That's what I expect. And then I'll be able to like reassess how I feel about like being a realtor. And I've continued to like show up for my passions in real estate. This week I've attended 2 different like seminars on real estate investing and real estate development, and then I had a meeting with this really lovely woman named Nancy, who has been in the real estate industry in Atlanta her entire career, like 20-30 years. She's been a loan officer, and she gave me some really good advice yesterday about just like how to move forward. And what she said that really stuck out with me is like, I had asked her if she had felt lost or overwhelmed in her career and how did she move through that. And she laughed and she said that she feels that every day. And I was like, wow, that's really honest. And she continued by saying that even when I'm feeling lost and overwhelmed, I should still be planting seeds and taking action, because I never know how those things are going to turn out later on. And that felt really reaffirming to know that like, okay, even though I'm not pursuing gaining clients as a realtor right now, I'm still like attending these webinars, I'm learning about investing, I'm learning how to get into development, making connections, and I'm also doing a lot of studying about like business acquisition. And so even though things are quite chaotic and there's a lot of unknown at the moment, I feel confident in the seeds that I'm planting will be fruitful as I continue forward in my journey.
Well, I hope so. The real estate market or the whole thing it fluctuates so much all the time.
Yeah.
And it takes, a lot of tenacity to keep up with it and to be able to adapt to what you're doing with it, if anything, to keep current with it, because it changes so fast. And it's very, very competitive. I mean, everybody's out there for their own commission, and, it's just almost cutthroat sometimes,
It's definitely
you're
not my
learning.
style.
I mean, your grandpa always used to say, that real estate, and I'm sure your dad did too, it is always a smart thing. It's always to have, the real land, of your own and everything. But you're in no position to do any investing, that's for sure. And so, I think that you really need to give this job, retail job, a fair shot for a while. Several months or more, to see how it settles with you, to see if it's your niche or not. It might not be at all. It might be, gosh, I really hate this. If you don't like going to work every day, well, then I'll tell you, well, something's not working here. And so, I'm sure that you're smart enough to be able to know that real soon. But you like their products and everything, and it sounds like they have some job opportunities, that you can work toward. Not many retail jobs have that, I don't think, that I know of. And so if you show the initiative, who knows where it'll take you. And but give it a try and give it a fair shot. And then, it's okay to still do the real estate thing and be exposed to it and learn all the time. But don't overcrowd your mind. I mean, you're carrying around so much in your head.
Yeah.
It's really a lot. And, no wonder you have meltdowns and it's just too much for anybody to handle. It's just one thing at a time,
Yeah.
So that's kind of what you really need to focus on right now.
Yeah.
But I'm glad to hear about all your plans. So and thank you for sharing with me, because I have been interested to see where you're going to be going with this. But I do believe that getting, I don't know where Zach lives, but if he's outside the main area of Atlanta, maybe that sounds like something that you should kind of consider too. That's cheaper, and easier to negotiate financially and otherwise,
Yeah, most definitely. And I agree, I'm ready to take this job seriously, and I'm really excited to challenge myself to take the initiative, and then also refine my sales skills and see, okay, how good am I actually at sales when it's just product based. So I'm looking forward to giving this a real shot, and I have literally nothing better to do with my life right now than just dedicate it to work in my career, and I'm perfectly content with that. And I'm definitely looking at all of the options outside of the city, definitely looking at all the options outside the city, seeing what's available. But I feel like I won't know what my options really are until I get into the job and I'm working there for a couple months and I kind of see what my paychecks are. That's my biggest question mark.
Right, absolutely. It's an unknown right at this point. Yes. So that's true. But having been kind of in the real estate thing for a while now, you are a little more aware of the areas that are, more to your financial situation, and where it might best suit you. At least you're not just out there going blind, gee whiz, where am I going to go from here? But the fact that you're going to have to move out of where you are because of Keisha, you might as well start planning, now. Just sort of see, you're on the computer so much and you're able to find out what's available, and you can get an idea of what things cost and where you park your car. Do you have on-street parking? Do you have a garage? Do you have this or do you have that? And, do you have to have a roommate? Do you have to pay utilities? All kinds of things. There's just a lot to consider. What are you going to do with Luca when you go to Springfield?
Yeah, that's a good question. I am not quite sure. I have a couple different options. I think my top option would be there's one of my mutual friends with Keisha and an acquaintance lives like 2 blocks away, and she's asked Keisha to watch her cat a couple times, and so I might see if her name is Gabby, if she can watch Luca while I'm gone, or I might like ask Zach, or I might
It's
just.
only 4 or 5 days. I mean, that isn't that long. And cats are pretty independent. You know, you just food and water.
Yeah.
And a litter box.
Exactly. Yeah, he'll definitely be fine no matter what. So I think those are my 2 best options right now. I'm sure Gabby will be able to watch him, and like, if not, I'll figure something out. Like, yeah, it'll be okay. But yeah, I wanna hear about you.
Well, I wanted to ask you one more thing. As you can imagine, I've been doing some planning and things because I'm not too sure what my future holds at this point. And one thing that occurred to me is that I thought you might be interested in, since I don't have a whole lot to leave anybody the way things are going, but might you have use for or be interested in my Southwest airline frequent flyer miles? I have an awful lot piled up.
Yeah.
And I know you like to travel when you can. And Christine and Doug can't use them out of the airport that they use, and they use American Airlines, and it isn't compatible with Southwest schedules or anything. And so I thought, well, gee whiz, you probably can use that Southwest out of anywhere, pretty much. And I have a lot, and I have the paperwork that I wanted to call and ask them what it would take to transfer them to you permanently. And if you'd like to have them, that would be the most I can give you that you could really possibly use. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I would love that. Thank you so much for thinking of me with that. Absolutely, I would accept.
Well, I mean, I know you love to, fly all over the place, and these are. I know I tried. Let's see. I guess it was just before COVID hit. My friend Shirley, and she's from out here, but she's in Sacramento now. We were our football friends. We were always watching football.
I was thinking of Shirley today.
I think you met her.
Yeah.
I don't know if you did or not.
I think so.
Anyway, she and I were planning to come out here to visit our daughters, and stuff. I guess like September of 2020, I think it was. Wasn't that when COVID hit? It was 2020, I think.
Yeah, it was 2020.
We had it all set and everything, and she was going to use my miles and part of my miles, and we just had the nicest person on the phone with Southwest, and she was able to explain it all to it and how to do it and everything, and she had it all divvied up, and she practically had the reservations made, and then we had to cancel the whole thing because of COVID. So, I have just so many points, and as far as I'm concerned, I'm never going to fly again. I don't want to fly again. I hate flying at this rate. It's just too confining for me and too hard. And so I don't want them to go to waste. And you're just, I think, the ideal person. And you can fly anywhere you want, except here. I don't think you got to come here yet because I'm not in the situation where I'm very good to visit right now. But I'll keep you apprised of that if you're interested. And all I want to be sure of is that I have an address for you where you can be reached, so that they can document that, and then you can take care of if you move and all that kind of stuff to let them know where you are. And then I don't know how they handle. I'm still using my Southwest Visa card, but I'm considering canceling it and just using my debit card. I'm not too sure what I'm going to do with that yet, because it's just one less bill for me to have to pay. So I would not be accumulating any more miles on that, probably. So you could do what you want with that. I mean, you could either take over or I don't know what kind of credit cards you have right now. Who's it with right now? Do you know?
I use Chase mostly.
Yeah, this is Chase. This is basically Chase Rapid Rewards Chase. So it would be a kind of the same outfit. Maybe it wouldn't be a problem at all. Probably very simple.
Yeah, I bet.
Well, anyway, yeah. Well, I'll let you know how that goes. But I have the paperwork here, and I was going to call this week and see what it would take to transfer it to you. So I just wanted to see if you wanted it and stuff. So that's good. That's good to know.
No, definitely.
Okay.
I will totally accept them.
So last Wednesday, I had my first visit with the oncologist. He was wonderful, so soft-spoken and knowledgeable, and he just didn't make you feel stressed out at all. It was very calming, and explained what I need to do next, and they're trying to get me an appointment for an endoscopy. Do you know what that does?
Endoscopy. I'm assuming it's something that's like looking. It's not a colonoscopy.
No. An endoscopy is they put a tube down your throat. Yeah, of course. And they have a camera on the end of it, and it goes down into the pancreas to see the size of the mass, whether it's metastasized, whether it's whatever they need to find out. And it's supposed to be an in-house procedure. I don't have to stay overnight or anything, or I guess you call it outpatient. I don't know what they call it anyway around here. And so I got a call the other day from one of the nurses explaining the procedure to me. But of course, she doesn't do the scheduling. There's always somebody else that does the scheduling. So she said that someone else would be calling me about that. And I said, well, my daughter has to know because she's my driver and she has to get off work and yada, yada. So I told Christine about it, and so we're waiting, and we hope the first part of this week. Because, to me it's urgent. I think it needs to be attended to right away. I mean, waiting is just eating away at me, and I am getting lots of wonderful care, however. I have a home health person comes twice a week, and I now have a PT. I met him yesterday for the first time. He was delightful. He comes in twice a week to help me with leg exercises and walking around and getting my leg strength back. And so that's really wonderful. I didn't know that was available to me. And the downside of one thing is I'm only 100 pounds this morning. I know I've never been this tiny, so I'm having a little trouble keeping my pants on. They slide off.
Yeah.
I did get jeans on today, but I had to use a belt, and it's kind of difficult. But and getting shoes on, and I have to wear compression hose every day, and so it's been, and then the weather has been so weird. I don't know what it's like in Atlanta, but it starts out, it was like 34 or 38 this morning, for a little while, and then the sun comes out, and now it's starting to really get warm in here, because I get a southern exposure, and oh my goodness, so it's crazy.
It's very similar in Atlanta.
Oh gosh. So anyway, that's kind of where I am, Kelly, about my care.
Okay.
I'm taking, did I tell you that I had to go to the hospital last Friday?
You did.
I did, okay. That was a nightmare. God. Blood clots. I just hardly didn't expect that. That really scared me. The CT scan showed it all the way up to my groin, on my whole left leg, which can go to my heart in no time. Wow. And so they got me, admitted me, as soon as they found room at the hospital, and from the emergency room. And they put me on this heparin drip, which is a blood thinner. And So I was on that for over 24 hours, and the swelling went down, and the clots were dissolved mostly. So I haven't had swelling since then, but I have to be really careful about, well, no more shaving my legs or anything that would cause bleeding because I could bleed out. Isn't that scary?
Yeah, that's terrifying.
Oh, honestly. So I'm just, taking a day at a time and trying to immerse myself in the sports that I have access to. And my appetite's improving, although I can't seem to keep weight on. I've had some good days without diarrhea, then all of a sudden, like yesterday, it showed up again. And I just can't seem to keep ahead of that. But today I fudged and I had, oh gosh, they served macaroni and cheese, which I'm not supposed to have because of the dairy. But I took a couple of lactate tablets first. I even had 2 helpings. It was just so delicious with stewed tomatoes. Oh my God, it was just really, really scrumptious. And so far, so good. I haven't had to go to the bathroom since lunch. So I guess, I don't know. I don't know how that's going to turn out, but we shall see. But I'm documenting my food intake, my pill intake, and trying to keep a diary of sorts, to see what my progress is. And so it's all kind of boring, but it has to be done. Because your aunt is a real taskmaster and she wants to know everything that's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyway, getting back to Springfield, you're leaving on the 21st, you said? Okay, you'll be gone until the 24th. Okay.
The 20th. Yeah, I'm glad to hear.
Okay.
I'm glad to hear that things are not worse. Honestly, when you told me you were in the hospital, my mind definitely went to like way darker places than what you're telling me right now. So I'm actually very much relieved to hear that this is the update. I thought it was going to be a lot worse.
Thank you, honey. Well, I've really been blessed with wonderful care. They're very hands-on and they know what they're doing, and I'm fortunate that I have Blue Cross Blue Shield, and I don't know what's going to cost me in the long run, but at least I have it, and that's comforting, So they know what they're doing, and but I just want you to be apprised of what's happening. I don't want to give you too much dire news, because I really don't have any yet.
Okay, good.
But, there is something wrong. There is a growth. There is something. I don't know how serious it is. I don't know how long it's been there. I don't know where it's going. I don't know how much time I have or any of that stuff. So it just remains to be seen, So
yeah.
So I'll try not to spring anything on you.
Yeah, no worries. I appreciate you telling me. Like, it's just really good to like have this information. And I totally understand and can empathize with how anxiety-inducing it must be to have all of these unknowns, especially when it's related to your health. But I really respect how you find the silver linings of like being grateful for the care that you have and being grateful for Christine, and like you said, just taking it one day at a time. I really respect your ability to move through this in such grace.
Well, thank you for that. I mean, it's not my nature to do that, I don't think, but I've decided that it doesn't get me anywhere to be depressed and down all the time. Nobody wants to be around me, and it's not gonna help my ongoing care if I'm that way. So I'm just trying to, I'm going down to lunch twice or to meals twice a day now, walking with the walker, and interacting with my table mates, and that's been helpful too because they're always glad to see me and everything, and so it's all part of it, and the therapeutic part of it is really important, and so but I appreciate you recognizing that. I mean, it's just I never knew what it was like until I got to be this age, but It's really something. But when you do go to Springfield, you won't probably see your dad, will you?
No, I do plan to see him. It's been over like a year and a half since I've seen him, and I have a lot of emotions about that. I feel guilty for not seeing him. I miss him. I feel guilty for not seeing Leo. I am also really like nervous too, because like, you know, he's kind of unpredictable, and I don't know how it's gonna be. And I feel like I've changed so much in the past, you know, year and a half, that it'll be interesting to see. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how our dynamic works now that like I've grown up more. Um, but honestly, like, oh, when I think about seeing him and like giving him a hug, I like start to get like start to cry. So I'm really looking forward to seeing him.
Well, you know, I don't have to caution you.
Yeah.
Do I?
No, of course not.
Don't tell him where I am.
I won't, but I also would love to kind of explore the option of maybe calling you while I'm there
No,
with him. No.
No, Kelly, please. Listen,
Mm-hmm.
we just can't. We just cannot.
Okay.
I'm sorry. It's you just don't know how important that is.
I totally.
He's out of my life, honey, and I'm sorry to say that, but I can't deal with him anymore, ever. And he put the line in the sand. It's his choice, and I don't think he gives a damn whether I'd ever die, and I just don't want him to know I'm out here, and it's okay if he knows that you've been in touch with me. But please, I pray, don't let him know. Christine would just be. She's so frightened of him of what he might do, and we just can't afford to take a chance, honey. We just can't.
Yeah, I totally understand that, and like respecting your privacy and respecting your wishes and maintaining your trust is my top priority, Nana. Like I promise you, I will not share, you know, where you are. Do you want, like, do you want me to keep your health from him as well?
Yes, don't say anything.
Okay.
You don't know. You don't know anything. Just that you stay in touch. Hi, Nana, and that kind of stuff. But you don't have to tell him how much we talk or how much we share or anything like that, unless he asks, which I doubt if he will.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's been 2 years since I've talked to him.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
I don't know what his mindset is. I don't know. I don't even know. Do you even know whether he even wants to see you? Have you even explored that?
The last time we had a phone call, you know, he's very, he puts on this facade of being very ambivalent about about how he feels. So he was like, if I want to come by to see a Leo, like that's great. And whatever, like I think we both know he's not like outward with his emotions, so no, he's not like I want to see you or anything, but I don't think that he's gonna like turn me away. I don't know if he'll let me into his house, but I know he won't turn me away, especially if I want to see a Leo. And if you come up in conversation at all, I'll just tell him straight up that like I'm not at liberty to discuss your business or your life, and that if he wants to know anything, then like he can contact you. Like, yeah, it's not my place to get in between your guys' relationship, and I would be doing that by sharing any information that you and I have shared in our relationship.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I just think that's the way it has to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's sad, but it's just I don't see any alternative. I really don't. Not after this long.
Yeah.
And especially all this transpired this year, you know. And I mean, it's just been a horrible year. And I don't want to make it any more horrible than it is already.
Yeah.
So, the less he knows, the better. I don't know. I just don't know what frame of mind he's in or what state of mind, and I just don't want to give him anything to act upon, and I just don't want him to find me. I don't want him to find his sister. She doesn't want him to find her, and it's sad, but that's just the way it is, you know. I'm sorry your family is deteriorated like that, but that's just the way things happen sometimes. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, I hear that, and it makes me sad to see the dynamic, but I am always gonna have hope that somehow, some way, things might get better. May not ever be perfect or, even close to ideal, but I think I can at least hope for baby steps, and I will definitely be scoping out, like his emotions and stuff, and just seeing how he is, and then I'll be able to determine what's realistic. And I think by also having that information, like you and Christine, can help like ease some of your worries. Yeah, we'll figure it out, and I love you all like individually, and things happened and transpired to get to where they are. That's like way beyond me, but at least I can be a source of joy and love for everyone.
Yeah, I see. Your mom wouldn't say anything, would she? I mean, you.
No, she wouldn't say anything. They don't talk. My dad, like, she doesn't even have his number. He doesn't even have her number. So like, yeah, they do not speak. And like my mom would not do anything to like jeopardize you at all. Like, she loves you, she cares about you, she respects you so much, and she also respects the relationship that we have, and she also understands, how unpredictable my father can be. So we're all good.
Okay, thank you. That's reassuring for me. I appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. I will definitely keep you updated on how my trip to Missouri goes. If he did call you just out of the blue, would you answer it?
Not sure. Not sure.
Yeah.
I've thought about it, but I really don't know. I don't think I would accept it. I don't know. He's just treated me so badly for so many years. This goes way back, and he's just been so mean and rude to me, and I don't quite understand why. There must be some deep-seated reason, but I may never know, and it's not going to make any difference because it's over and done with. But the fact that he chose to just end the relationship, just okay, what else can I do?
Yeah.
He's not going to change. He's a recluse. He's I don't know what he does with his days. I mean, I'd go stir crazy having to be stuck in that house all that time. He never likes to go anywhere.
Yeah.
You know, he's so paranoid about money. I don't know. I don't know him anymore. I really don't know him at all.
Yeah.
And well, the two's not bad, I guess. Sorry, that's kind of cold, but
that's okay. That's okay.
It's the only way I can look at it and live with it, So
yeah, it's hard to go through these kind of changes in relationships, and especially when it's something as close as like family. And the older I get, the more I realize just how convoluted relationships and emotions are, and like it's really hard to move on from hurt that's been caused.
Isn't it though? Yes.
It's
It really
extremely
is. It's difficult.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I completely understand, and
It's just like your relationship with Keisha. You know, it's got some real rough spots now, and some bad feelings there. But you're both going to be able to move on from it, and you both perhaps can glean something good out of it down the road. You know, it can happen.
yeah.
And she's got a life to lead, and you're making strides in yours, and so maybe your time together is run its time, you know, its gamut, and you just have to do the best with what you got ahead of you.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, definitely.
It'll work out. You know, I have hopes for you. So
thank you.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
Yeah, I know you'll do well. So I hope that any of the stuff that I've said will help you or resonate with your choices in the future, and I know you'll do well, and I'll be anxious to hear how the new job goes and stuff, and just nice you have Zach to lean on, and that's helpful for sure.
It really is. It really is. I'm super thankful to be so deeply loved and supported, and I'm definitely locking in on the faith I have that, you know, whatever is coming is just going to be so much better than what it is right now. Like, you know, the difficult times just to prepare us for the capacity of joy and happiness and love that we can experience later on, as long as we keep our heart open to it. So
that's the way you have to look at it. You have to stay positive. It's difficult to do sometimes, but it's better than going the other way. Because your dad's gone the other way, I think. You know, and well, I don't know which way he's gone, but I mean, even your mom has faced adversity, but she seems to be hanging in there. So it can be done.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, most definitely. I think the best thing my mom has taught me is how to just love and forgive so compassionately, and to always keep an open heart, and to choose to move forward and love someone over holding on to burdens and pain and heartache and all of the things that, you know, naturally occur. I'm really thankful that she taught me that, and I'm hoping that by going home and spending time with Dad, I hope this time alone has given him opportunities to do what he needs to do for himself, and maybe he'll be more open to also moving in the same direction as me whenever I go back.
Life is too short, you know, and I mean, he's going to be 63 next week, isn't he? Something like that.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
And you know, time's marching on, you know, so I hope he's made up his mind of how he wants to live the rest of his life. I don't know, but it'll be interesting to see whether he welcomes you or just tolerates you or is rude to you or whatever, you know. But I think it's been good for him to have your dog. I mean, he's had to think of something else, some other living being, you know, to take his mind out of himself. And Elio is such a loving dog that I'm sure they forged quite a friendship. So I hope, anyway.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's been really good for him to have a Leo. I think it's given him a lot of purpose, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing both of them and giving them a lot of love. And I think that this time away from him and like our relationship. I think he'll be able to like appreciate me more whenever I see him next. And at this point, it's kind of like I don't think there's anything that he could do that could hurt me. Like I don't know. I think I've just moved past that. Like
I think so too. I think you're just too strong now, and you've changed a lot in the last 5 years. And a lot, and you've really grown. And so I think that it's going to be on your favor, and your maturity is going to show, and I think you'll be fine. You really do.
Yeah. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
I appreciate the recognition. Absolutely.
I hope you and Corey have a good visit, and you do a lot of fun touristy things. And is he coming alone then?
Yeah, he's coming alone, and oh my god, I'm like beyond excited to see him. Like
that's great.
Yeah,
that's great.
I'm really excited.
That'll give you something else to look forward to, and to forget some of the other stuff that's annoying you. So
yeah, most definitely.
You're gonna keep it together, kid. I just know.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I feel like I've been doing pretty well keeping it together, considering just how many layers there are to like all of these things I'm feeling. But having this conversation today has been like a weight lifted off my shoulders, because I've just been so worried, Nana. Like, I love you so much, and you're such an important person in my life. And I was like really, really wrecked that I forgot about our phone call on Sunday, and I felt terrible. And again, I really apologize for not prioritizing this.
That's all right, honey. It happens,
Yeah.
I was disappointed, because I had a lot happening, but I knew more today than I did last Sunday, so it's better, perhaps, the way it turned out. So
Good.
It's okay. But thank you for being so honest about it. But maybe we won't let so much time go by, and after Corey goes back home, and before you leave for Springfield, we can talk again, maybe, if there's time.
Yeah.
And maybe I'll have even more news. Who knows?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Talking to you and like having these phone calls is definitely a priority to me. You know how badly like I want to be there in person, and even if we were doing absolutely nothing but just like going to appointments, that time would be so cherished because it would be with you, and there's definitely no pressure for that. So these phone calls in the meantime are an important supplement to me.
Well, thanks, honey. Well, maybe we can work out the other. Who knows? It might happen. You know, we might need it for you, to happen, and who knows?
Mm-hmm.
It's hard. I just don't know what's ahead right now. That's my problem. So
that's okay. One day at a time.
I know you understand.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I really feel the same way, and I just appreciate the time that you are spending and all the love you're sending, and it's very helpful to me too.
Yeah.
Because I've sort of lost touch with my friends. Well, I haven't wanted to share anything yet because out there's so many. If I start to tell one, then it's going to spread like, and I don't want it to. I don't want anybody else to know yet because I haven't got anything firm to tell anybody.
Yeah.
And so I just have sort of been under the radar and haven't written to too many people.
Yeah, that's understandable.
And so part of my life is gone now, and for the most part. But I do have my long time friend over in Woodland that I lived for so long when I was married to your grandpa. Her grandson is getting married in San Diego, like next, I think it's November, or like a week from this Saturday or something. I mean, it's around the 8th or 9th or 10th or something. I don't know what day it is anyhow. So I know she's flying down for that with her other kids, and so I don't know whether to call her and tell her anything before she goes down and kind of like would that put a damper on her trip, or make her feel bad, or should I just wait till she gets back? And so, it's just stuff like that.
Yeah.
She wouldn't say anything to anybody because she doesn't know very many of my Sacramento friends, so that's not an issue. But she's my oldest and dearest, and we've been friends for, oh gosh, since our girls were in high school.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was 19, I don't even know when that was. Way back anyway. But we lived out in the country together. They lived on the Larry farm. And I guess it was 1980-something. I think I've known her a long time. Yeah,
that's a really long time.
She's amazing. But big, strong, just strong German and hard worker. She's about, I think she's 82 now, 81, something like that. But she has this big, beautiful house and a beautiful yard, and she does all the gardening and everything herself. And she's just amazing. She still plays golf. And she's just a tough old girl,
She
anyway.
sounds incredible.
Yeah. So, anyhow, enough about her.
Yeah, well, I think it would be a great idea to reach out and talk to her, and I feel like doing it before the wedding wouldn't be a damper. It would be probably good to let her have a distraction afterwards, not worry about you too much. But I think she would love to hear from you nonetheless.
Yeah, I haven't talked to her for about a month, so I'm sure she's really, really worried. And she knows to leave me alone when she hasn't heard from me. We sort of have that unspoken, but I thank you. That's really good advice. I think I will reach out, especially after I hear something next week, if I do, So, anyway, thank you for that.
Of course.
I will certainly consider it.
Yeah. I appreciate how when you can have those unspoken understandings with your friends. I think that's a true marker of what makes a good friendship and a long-lasting one.
True. Yeah, it is really something to say for such a long-term friend, and she's definitely it. And so,
what do you think makes a good friendship? Sorry to interrupt you.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I cherish that. I really do. She's really tried and true. She hates goodbyes. I remember when I said goodbye, she just could hardly do it. It's really awkward. Well, I don't like goodbyes either. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, well, honey, I'm getting kind of warm here. I'm going to have to turn on the air or something. I'm not too sure, or see what's happening in the bathroom, or Lord knows what. But I probably ought to take a little walk too, just to get some exercise. So I might do that, and I shall be in touch with you.
Yeah.
And you too. You let me know how things are going.
Absolutely.
And when you're available again too. Okay.
Okay, I totally will. I am really grateful for this time to talk to you, Nana. It's so good to hear you, to share what's been going on in your life and to hear your voice and even, memories and stuff as well.
Thank you. Appreciate that. And I'm always happy to hear what you're thinking and what you're planning to do. And I want to be in the loop about it all the time, okay?
Okay. I'll definitely keep you updated for sure.
All right. Now, don't buy too much this afternoon, okay?
I'll try not to.
and have fun at the Halloween party this afternoon. Can I get a picture of yourself? I'd love to see that costume.
Okay, for sure. I'll definitely send you a pic. I'll be thinking about you.
Thanks, honey. Sounds great. Well, thank you again, honey. I love you so much. And we'll talk again soon, okay?
Yeah, that sounds good. I love you too. Bye, Nana.
Okay, honey. Bye-bye.
Wow. I feel like it's been a weight lifted off my chest. I was so worried. So worried. I thought something way worse was happening with her. Obviously blood clots, bleeding out, not great, but I thought it was so. I feel so much better.